मैं थोड़ा हरजाप तो हरेक मंडे 7 बजे तुसी तो मैं आपस में गल्लां करांगे साडी कम्यूनिटी दियां, साडे बच्चों दियां, साडे बाहर रहंदे NRIयां दियां, साडे देश दियां, तो जो अजकल दे इशू हैगे सानू अफेक्ट करदे उन्हां दियां। So let's talk with Harjap.
सारे मेरे वालों सत श्री अकाल जी आया प्रोग्राम दे विच ते स्वागतम। जिस तरह थानू पता हुंदा कि अज असी जो प्रोग्राम करते होंगे या तो कोई गैसट हुंदा या तो कोई कम्यूनिटी का कोई रिलेटेड टॉपिक असी गल करी दी है या कोई एक तरह की शख्सियत नाल थानू मिलाई दा जिहदे विच इंफॉर्मेशन देण दी विच काबलियत हो तो थानू भी जानकारी मिल सकदी ते सानू भी जानकारी मिल सकदी। पिछले दिनों में तुसीं साडे एड ब्रेकर देखिया होने जमराज जय जो कि मसल दिखा रहे अपने ते अपने बड़े बड़े डॉले दिखा रहे तो तुसीं सोचते होने कि पता नहीं कित्थों लैके आए कि जो बंदा मरदा हो इदां दे आउंदे होंदे लैन तो जो इदां दे चार कागज लैन तो फिर तो बंदा कदे जान जोगा भी नहीं भज दौड़ भी नहीं सकता। पर जी वो जमराज जय दे इवेंट सीगे जिन्होंने असीं सारे जमराजां नूं साडे असीं बॉडी बिल्डर जिहड़ी अपनी सेहत बनाउंदे अपनी देह बनाउंदे आ ते अपनी देह बनाउण दा एक कंपटीशन रखते हैं। बॉडी बिल्डिंग एक इनफैक्ट हैगी स्पोर्ट आपस जिहदे विच कंपीट करते जाते तो जिहदे विच सब तो बेस्ट बॉडी हुंदी उन्होंने इनाम दित्ती जाता तो दूजे तीए थां ते इनाम दिते जाते हैं। दो इदां दे इवेंट जो कि वर्ल्ड काफ़ी वेल नोन है। एक तो है आर्नोल्ड क्लासिक जिहदे विच आर्नोल्ड शोर्ट्सनेगर जिहड़े तुसीं देख रहे हो फिल्मां वो अरेंज करते हैं। एक हुंदा ओलंपिया मिस्टर ओलंपिया जिहड़ा रिसेंटली हो के हटिया। तीजे नंबर पर इस साल मेन इवेंट जो सीगा जो कि हाईएस्ट प्राइज मनी वाला इवेंट सीगा वो साडे अरेंज किया साडे शेरू भाजी होना ने जो तुसीं अक्सर इत्थे तुसीं देख रहे हैं तो जिहदा नाम रखा गया शेरू क्लासिक। सो पहली बारी यह इवेंट होल्ड किया गया मुंबई जिस तरह असीं तुहानूं अक्सर दस रहे हैं पिछले महीने दोवां तो वो असीं फिल्म किया MA TV लई ना वो असीं साडे कोल 25 घंटे की फुटेज हैगी आ। सो रिश्तों बजा के तुहानूं 25 हफ्ते लिए उही दिखा दईए वो असीं चंगे जो बिट्स है तुहानूं हफ्ते के हफ्ते पर असीं थानू दिखाते रहना कुछ इस हफ्ते दिखा लेने कुछ अगले हफ्ते दिखा लोगे कुछ उस तो बाद दिखा लांगे तो कुछ उस तो बाद दिखा लांगे तो कुछ थानू क्लिप्स दिखा लांगे स्टार्टिंग विथ टुडे दे क्लिप्स जो जोड़े है वो असीं इंटरव्यूज़ किए सीगे कुछ कंपैटिटरां नाल खास तौर पर फीमेल जी कंपैटिटर जी औरतां भार चकदियां जिन्होंने डोले बनाए वो दिखा लांगे थानू कि क्यों कर रही हो अपने बयान च दस रहे कि क्यों कर रहे हैं। एक हेमंत नाल जो कि शेरू जे ब्रदर है जिन्होंने इंडिया सारा कुछ ऑर्गेनाइज किया उन्होंने इंटरव्यू थानू दिखा लांगे। एक जैग चीमे नाल जो कि नाल उत्थे गया सी इवेंट ते जिन्होंने ऑर्गेनाइज करने में काफ़ी इन्होंने मदद की शेरू होना दी। एक bodybuilding.com दे वैबसाइट के डिप्टी एडिटर क्रिस गेथिन नाल जो कि वेल्स दे हैगे एंड ऑल्सो उन्होंने नाल के उन्होंने विचार उहदे बारे सुनांगे। सम ऑफ इट्स इन इंग्लिश सम ऑफ इट्स इन पंजाबी सो होपफुली तुसीं एंजॉय करोगे इंटरव्यू। A lot of effort and a lot of खर्चा went into this. सो ये तकरीबन 3-4 करोड़ रुपये का खर्च हो गया सी इस इवेंट बड़ा कामयाब रहा। संजय दत्त जी आए अमिताभ बच्चन आए नेहा धूपी आई UC तो होर कई बॉलीवुड स्टार्स काफ़ी आए उस रणविजय सिंह जो कि बहुत पॉपुलर विजय हैगा तो वो आया सीगा। सो अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल वर देयर तो बॉलीवुड से बहुत लोग आए थे बाहरों लोग बहुत आए थे इंग्लैंडों बहुत गए थे अमरीका कैनेडा तो लोग बहुत गए थे। सो ये थानू असीं दिखा रहे हैं हम फुटेज जो हैगी है जो असीं शेरू क्लासिक ते लई है। असीं कंपटीशन नहीं हले दिखा लें क्योंकि वो दिखा लेंगे 2 हफ्तिਆਂ ਨੂੰ दी एक्चुअल मेन जो कंपटीशन हुई सी। दिस इज जस्ट अ प्री वार्म अप ऑफ द इंटरव्यूज़ जो असीं कीते से। होप यू एंजॉय देम। मैं थानू मिलदा है इंटरव्यूआं तो बाद। ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਹੈ ਮੁੰਬਈ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਪਹੁੰਚੇ ਹਾਂ ਖਾਸ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਸ਼ੇਰੂ ਕਲਾਸਿਕ ਇਵੈਂਟ ਲਈ ਜੋ ਕਿ ਇੱਥੇ 2 दिन ਦਾ ਐਕਸਪੋ ਹੈਗਾ ਬੋਡੀ ਬਿਲਡਿੰਗ ਦਾ ਫਿਟਨੈਸ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੰਪੀਟੀਸ਼ਨ ਵੀ ਹੋਣਗੇ ਫਿਗਰ ਕੰਪੀਟੀਸ਼ਨ ਵੀ ਹੋਊਗੇ ਬੋਡੀ ਬਿਲਡਿੰਗ ਕੰਪੀਟੀਸ਼ਨ। ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਹੈ ਮੁੰਬਈ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਪਹੁੰਚੇ ਹਾਂ ਖਾਸ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਸ਼ੇਰੂ ਕਲਾਸਿਕ ਇਵੈਂਟ ਲਈ ਜੋ ਕਿ ਇੱਥੇ 2 दिन ਦਾ ਐਕਸਪੋ ਹੈਗਾ ਬੋਡੀ ਬਿਲਡਿੰਗ ਦਾ ਫਿਟਨੈਸ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੰਪੀਟੀਸ਼ਨ ਵੀ ਹੋਣਗੇ ਫਿਗਰ ਕੰਪੀਟੀਸ਼ਨ ਵੀ ਹੋਊਗੇ ਬੋਡੀ ਬਿਲਡਿੰਗ ਕੰਪੀਟੀਸ਼ਨ ਵੀ ਹੋਣਗੇ। This is basically the first time in Asia an event of this level is taking place. It's called Sheru Classic. It's a professional bodybuilding event and we've got athletes from all over the world. सारी दुनिया तो लोग पहुँचे हैं सारी दुनिया तो एथलीट पहुँचे हैं अपने बॉडियां दिखाने ते एक्सपो दे विच अपने प्रोडक्ट्स नू प्रमोट करन हेल्थ केयर दे बारे इंफॉर्मेशन देन पब्लिक नू
ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੀ ਜਨਤਾ ਐਕਸਪੈਕਟਡ ਆ, ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ celebrities expected ਆ। ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੰਟਰਵਿਊਜ਼ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਵਾਂਗੇ on MITV exclusively. But before we do that, let's find out a little bit about the expo ਕਿ expo ਹੈ ਕੀ, Sheru Classic ਹੈ ਕੀ। ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ expo ਦਿਖਾਵਾਂਗੇ, competitions ਦਿਖਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਜੋ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ, athletes ਦੇ ਨਾਲ exclusive interview ਦਿਖਾਵਾਂਗੇ, and a whole lot more. So stay tuned and keep on watching MITV. I'm here at the expo in Mumbai. We're with Kris Gethin, who's the deputy editor of bodybuilding.com. First of all, we'll ask what bodybuilding.com is, because, like I said, I'm all new to this. I've built my body and I'm happy with it, but there's plenty of people that aren't and are looking to improve their body. Kris, welcome to MATV.
Thank you very much.
And first of all, how's Mumbai treating you?
Mumbai has been absolutely fantastic. The people here are so passionate about their health and fitness and appearance goals. And, you know, they might have some cards stacked against them, whether it be, you know, a lot of them are vegetarian, vegan, they can't afford supplements or, you know, can't get to a well-equipped gym. But that doesn't stop them. They control their environment and they're very passionate and I love it.
Why India now? Why have yourself decided to come to India? Why bring the whole bodybuilding craze to India? Because one, it is a big market, yes, definitely, and people are passionate about it, but it's not something really, Indians don't really push their kids into that. They push their kids into becoming lawyers, doctors, engineers, teachers, but why India?
Because we find that they're not very educated in regards to health and fitness. What we want to do is educate these people the importance. Bodybuilding isn't just about peak biceps and posing pads. It's all about building your body so you have more confidence, more energy, increased blood flow to your brain, so you're up to 20% smarter. And obviously, you know, you want to lower the chances of diabetes, cholesterol and heart disease and stuff like that. So we want to really educate the people of India for them to understand that they can become better people just by looking after themselves, and the importance of, you know, your health comes first, materialistic things come second.
A lot of people think, no, can't differentiate between powerlifting and bodybuilding, and they think, well, hold on, all you guys must do is spend a lot of time in the gym, and a lot of people also see the negative sides, that hold on, you can't get a physique like this unless you're injecting yourself with stuff like that, and they're not aware of what supplements are. And just take us a bit through that. I mean, what sort of supplements are, and how, and what really bodybuilding is about. It's not all about sitting down there taking a few injections and pumping weights.
No. I'm just to clarify one thing, I'm a lifetime natural bodybuilder.
Right.
But, you know, it does take a long time. I've been training for 12 years, but people say, God, maybe you've been taking something. You've got to understand, I haven't missed a meal in 12 years. But in saying that, I don't go to the gym and train 8 hours a day like a lot of people think that you have to. Yeah. It's all about quality and, you know, and not the quantity of, you know, the food that you're taking in and the training that you're doing. It's consistency of doing the same thing day in and day out. And supplements aren't a magic pill. It's the nutrition that needs to be in place, the training needs to be in place, but more than anything, it's the consistency of doing it day in, day out, and having that synergistic effect of your rest, of your supplementation, of your training, of your nutrition, because otherwise it's going to be like a three-legged stool with one of those legs being a little bit short. It's going to fall over. You're not going to have a foundation.
Tell us a bit about bodybuilding.com and what sort of information available on there, what sort of response you get.
Okay, so bodybuilding.com has 4 entities to the website. You have your online publication, like at the digital publishing. So we have, every week we have 40 articles go up along with videos, podcasts, you know, with celebrities, with top trainers, with, you know, just inspiring physiques that, you know, people want to learn from. We have recipes, everything that you could think of in that regard. We also have a community called Body Space, which is much like Facebook for fitness, right, where people can no longer just, you know, look at a before and after picture and go, wow, I'd like to look like that, and maybe take that supplement. No, you can actually interact with these people and learn from them. If they inspire you, if they've got a physique that you're inspired by, you can interact and find out how they got that physique. And by being transparent with that, you know, you're held accountable to your goals as well. We also have the forums where you can pretty much do the same thing and interact and find out different programs that you can try week in and week out. And we have the store as well, where you can purchase the supplements, where you can purchase weight training equipment and apparel and clothing and whatnot.
We understand you're going to do a lot of work with Jag Chima and in relation to bringing some stuff over to the UK and bringing a lot of information over to the UK. Also, tell us a bit about the book which you're here. We've got this book here, Body. Looks as if it's like your life story, but it's not, right?
No, it isn't. I'm simply the messenger. The success stories in the book is exactly what it's all about. So Ryan DeLuca, who is the owner of bodybuilder.com, and myself have been studying the people on Body Space, that fitness community we spoke about earlier, which we have over 1 million people now signed up, which is free, you know, but interacting and being inspired and inspiring. And what we wanted to do is compact all these success stories, or you know, the major success stories, into one book to find out exactly what was it that took them from A to B. Was it certain supplements? Was it certain nutrition? Well, no, it wasn't. It was a certain transformation within the mind. By these people burning bridges and building stronger bridges, they're able to expand on their social communities. Maybe they're not going to have a social network at home that they can rely on, but online they possibly can. They can interact with people with like-minded goals. So we actually compacted that in a book along with, you know, their accountabilities, along with their training and the nutrition regime and, you know, the support to back you up with it. You know, we've got everything in there, from the recipes to the training programs to the nutrition program, but the main focus, I'd say, of this book is the amazing success stories. For instance, I'll give you one example. We got a guy in there who calls himself Furious Pete. Everybody has a handle on Body Space. And he was an anorexic. He almost died in hospital. You know, he had major problems there. But then going through the various steps that I call the 4 pillars of power, he is now literally a world champion eater, but he looks great as well. He looks like he's in shape, he's got abs. And
This
he's
is
a world
life-changing
champion.
stuff.
It's life-changing stuff, yeah.
And there's people sitting at home who are going to think, I can never get a body like this, or some of these people here, or it's just never going to happen. I mean, but is it too late? Is it always too late to start? Is it? There's always saying it's never too late to start, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, so is it actually possible? I mean, what were you like before you started training? Were you just a normal regular guy, or did you start training since?
There's a before picture of me here if you want to look near the front. So my story was, I used to race motocross, and I got severely injured. And next page, there. So I was over 230 pounds there. I was overweight. I went through injuries.
That's like me now. I could become like this, right?
Yeah, you can, and that's just it. I'm showing you that I did it. Thousands and thousands of other people are doing it, whether they've got kids, whether they've got work commitments, whether they travel. So why can't you? Well, we're showing you the way. So I was injured, I got depressed, I hung around with the wrong people, but by changing my social network and the way of, you know, my thought and surrounding myself with positive, like-minded people, I was able to transform. It's not so much in a secret diet or training or supplement program, it's the way you think.
I'm currently with 2 of the athletes competing in the figure competition. Heather and Sabrina have travelled all the way from the US, straight from the Olympia event and straight over here. First of all, welcome to Mumbai.
Thank you.
And how's Mumbai been treating you?
Oh, it's just been amazing.
Yeah.
I'm just, everything has been pulled out. I mean, we've been treated so well.
Like royalty.
Yes.
Better.
Yes. It's been awesome, really.
Tell us a little bit about the preparation that you're doing for the event and what sort of preparation an athlete has to do.
Do you want to take that?
Oh, well, I can answer. A lot of things go into it. Not only, I mean, there's months before that we spend in the gym actually building on the muscle. The 12 weeks before the event, that's where you kind of tone it in. You're dialing down. Your goal is to see what you created. So you're losing the body fat. Then there comes in the makeup, the hair, which, you know, you don't think is a big part of it, but is the fine details that make a difference.
Absolutely.
What about diet? And how has the Indian diet and the food here vary from what you're used to eating and stuff like that? Did you have any concerns?
Huge. Huge concerns.
Like spicy food?
No.
Spicy food I love.
Oh, yeah? So that's okay.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I would have to say my biggest concern was my favorite food is Indian food, but I eat American Indian food. So I was like, oh, here I am in India.
And it's authentic Indian food.
And having to
it's
wait.
so good though. My biggest concern was the fish. I usually do white fish exclusively through my diet. So I just froze my fish, brought it over, and that's worked out well.
For all the women sitting watching at home, first of all, something's running through their head, which would be, why would a woman want to have muscles? Why would a woman want to, you know, spend her time in the gym doing that? Just explain a little bit the motivation behind this and why you chose to do this.
Well, Sabrina and I both started gymnastics at a very, very young age. I started at 4,
I started about 3.
So your background is from gymnastics?
Oh, absolutely, and that's common.
Okay, that is
with
common.
regard to the women
Oh, right,
that are
okay.
training.
So it's not like, oh, women just think, right, so we want to go to the gym and pump iron. There's nothing like that.
Not for me, it wasn't. It was just, it was what I knew. That was, I grew up in the gym. After I stopped gymnastics, I played basketball through college, and then I played professionally. And when that was over, I just felt like I was missing something in my life. I needed the competition. So I kind of just fell into place with this.
And how did you make the transition from gymnastic and doing the exercises that you do in gymnastic, which probably involves a lot of flexibility and a lot of cardio exercises, and going into this, basically with bodybuilding or figure building?
Me, it was, I spent 10 years in the military, so that,
So you knew how to beat people up?
a little bit. So that transitioned into, when you asked about why would a woman want to create muscle on her physique, for me it's almost empowering. I want to be able to pick up a box, to be able to move a piece of furniture if I want to. So I enjoy going from gymnastics and having that ability to walk on my hands, to do backflips, and to know that, wait a minute, I can be just as, or try to be just as strong as a man and be able to pick up things and move things on my own, or maybe I don't have somebody there to move them. So that was an encouragement. And then once you see a little bicep, once you see a little delt, it makes you want to create it even more. No different than, I don't know, baking a cake. You bake one big cake, which is good, you want to bake another one. So this is my cake,
Did the military background help you in relation to discipline?
Oh, definitely. It was a key point in keeping me, I think, from gymnastics, which is very, very disciplined, and I would say, it's a
more
constant.
so than what we do.
And then the military.
Gymnastics is even more disciplined?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a lot more time involved.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You wouldn't think it.
It is, it's mostly as a young girl, and most of them are younger, so to be able to say you're not going to go out and play with your friends, you're not, the interest in boys isn't there, hair and makeup is not what your concern is. It's in the gym and performing better.
We even got out of school early.
Yeah, to go.
Now, the women at home must be thinking, well, hold on, if I want to get into this, how do I balance a normal life with being a mother and a wife and baking cakes and, how do you manage to balance all of that? Is this something you have to think, right, I'm going to forget everything else and this becomes your life? Does it take over?
I wouldn't say it takes over. It's about balance and keeping everything in perspective and advanced preparation. A lot of what we do is you have to be coordinated. So basically, I cook for my entire week at once or twice a week. And I just freeze everything, I weigh it out, and that way I can just grab and go. And that gives me the freedom to do what else I need to do throughout the day.
How competitive is this field? I mean, women are naturally more competitive, I think, than men anyway. But, if this was an office, all the claws would be up. But, I'm used to standing here, friend. So you're not standing here thinking, well, no, I'm going to beat her in the competition. Because I notice your friends on and off, the circuit. But how actually competitive is it? I mean, do we get is there a lot of bitchiness and catfighting in this, or is it just everyone just thinks, no, okay, it's a sport and we take it as a sport, and when the curtains go down and that's it?
I don't find, I haven't found, and I started off in fitness and now I'm in figure, I haven't found that there's a lot of the bitchiness. I think I found figure to be very, the girls to be very compassionate.
Yes.
And it's almost, you want to help the other girls do better. I mean, of course, you stand there and go, okay, I've got to think of myself and what can I improve on?
Right.
But it doesn't matter what Heather looks like. I still need to make my physique look as best as it can on me, which we have two different physiques, and you'll see out of the maybe 18, 12 of us up there, there's going to be different physiques, and we all have to make our own physique look the best it can, and then go from there. And help, and if I can help Heather in any way, or if she can help me in any way, we do that.
That, and ultimately the challenge isn't necessarily to beat whomever is standing next to you. It's to bring your personal best to the stage. So each show, you can only control what you can do with your physique. So after each show, I go back and I evaluate, okay, these are things that need some work, these are things that I, could probably tweak a little bit. And so I try to bring that in and improve with each show.
Right, here's $1 million question. What do you eat during a day? What's your diet? I mean, take it candy bars and all that out of the question, right?
There's no, chocolate's out of the question.
Oh no, you're breaking a lot of hearts.
It's fairly strict. We eat I eat every 2.5 hours.
About 2 to 3 hours.
And that's pretty strict. So every 2.5 hours you're eating, right?
Every 2.5 hours.
And why is that?
To keep your metabolism fueled.
Right, okay.
So that
As
your
opposed
body
to
is-
eating, say, once in the morning and once in the evening.
Right.
Which is not a big no-no, right?
And definitely in the morning. I know for Americans, usually they skip breakfast because they're such in a hurry. And I always say, one of the first signs of your metabolism slowing down is not being hungry in the morning. You want to wake up hungry, and it's almost like a furnace. The more wood you put in your furnace, the hotter the fire burns. So just like my body, the more I put in there, the more I'm going to burn. I just got to put the right type of wood,
the right type of fuel.
So instead of what everyone says, starving themselves, as we see in the fashion industry, this is totally different. You're not saying eat regularly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you would see the difference in the fashion industry. They may be thin, but they're not going to be picking up a box. They're not moving a box, a heavy box. So if you're looking just for thin, and you'll see the difference in an arm on a runway model, or you'll see ours, to keep that muscle alive, you need those calories.
India is a very conservative country with a small c. So it's like a place where people keep the daughters at home, you know, and the women are not pretty much, you know, seen to go out and have careers, although things are changing. And, you know, so we see a lot more women in field. But in sports, it's not generally seen. People don't push their kids, and it goes for males as well. People don't push their kids into sport. How do you think we can help that to change? Or what's the sort of message you have for the Asian parents or the kids out there who really want to do this, but they don't know how to approach their parents? I mean, did you not have any difficulties telling your parents, well, hold on, this is what I want to do? You must have, your mum and dad must have gone, hold on, you actually want to push her?
She coached us. I mean, my mom, it was kind of predetermined we were going to become athletes. It wasn't
something
like
that ran
I
in
made
a family.
choice. You know, you don't start something at 4 years old and say, hey, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
Generally, your parents push you. So my parents pushed me in school. They pushed me in the gym. So there was never any question as to whether or not I would succeed. I always kind of believed that I would.
You were told to succeed.
Right. But I think, you know, to answer your question, I think you really have to take basic health into concern. And truly, I mean, it's something that, you know, in order to take care of yourself, you know, a fit lifestyle is the way to go for longevity and health and happiness, and it carries over into every facet of life.
I think it's almost a balance. I mean, if you look at young kids, it's giving them something out there to do, and we all know when you do exercise, endorphins are released. You feel better. So if you can go out there and you can get a younger kid to start out and feel that.
And looking good and turning a few heads.
Yeah, looking good and feeling good inside.
Yeah.
So you want to feel good inside your mind, you want to feel good inside your heart, you want to feel good your whole body. It's a whole circle of whether it's spiritual, physical. You need that, and I think overall it helps you as a person to feel not only good, maybe spiritually, but also as well physically.
Well, and then particularly for women, I think society tends to dictate, you know, the parameters of what is feminine and how we should feel good about ourselves. And generally, that's based on male affirmation. Yeah. And that's not going to get it, you know? You have to find your own
Level.
happiness. Right.
I was just about to come to this. Do you think in the age of we've got size zeros and, you know, the models out there and the slim physiques and svelte figures, do you think that some women would look upon you and say, well, hold on, this is not feminine-like, women with big muscles and how do you react to that? What do you say to that?
I don't think a thin, frail frame is feminine. I like to see curves. I don't think straight up and down is sexy at all.
Right. And do you think that everyone has their own different comfort level? I mean, what you might think is feminine might not be feminine to others, but and do you think the media has a big part to play? Because you hardly, well, in Asian countries, you hardly see a figure athlete on the cover of a magazine, and you'll always see a fit Bollywood star, or, you know, Hollywood, or you'll see Britney, or, you know, J-Lo and stuff like this. And do you think that's sort of the images out there will look hot and sexy, but...
Well, of course. Little girls are going to, you know, whatever they see on television, they're going to want to emulate. Yeah. So, you know, me personally, I don't take offense when I see J-Lo being touted as this beautiful physique, because she has curves.
Yeah.
My problem is when, you know, you have the emaciated actresses and models that are clearly not healthy, and little girls are aspiring to that look. In my opinion, not good. Not good.
And I like when you talk about the skinnier, I don't think that's not down the road of healthiness. You know, if we think about health,
skinny doesn't really mean healthy.
No, it doesn't.
Not necessarily.
If you look at body fat, you can have somebody who's very thin but be 28% body fat, which is not in a healthy. That's overall. That's going into the obese side. Even though they may look thin, And usually I get women who ask me, well, I don't want to get really huge. I don't want to look like a guy.
Yeah.
And I always say, this has been 15 years worth, and I still don't feel like I'm not extremely huge.
Yeah.
So I always encourage women, muscles just don't appear. And you can lift heavy, and you can push yourself, and muscles aren't going to get bigger than you want them to. But always, you have to challenge yourself and create what you want to look like. And if we can just get women to understand that they're not, just because they lift weights, they're not going to look like a man, and they may feel even better physically, that I think overall, as a woman, you feel better for yourself.
This is something, obviously, it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort to do, right? So, and you've dedicated 15 years or 20 years of your life to this. People out there who just might think, hold on, what am I going to achieve at the end of the day out of this? I mean, will I get fame? Will I make a living out of it? Will I get stardom out of it? What am I going to get out of it? I mean, what have you lot achieved up to date? What do you lot think you've ultimately achieved by doing this? Apart from, obviously, a good-looking body. But apart from that, I mean, what sort of other incentives are there for people, especially girls, to hit the gym and think and to get fit and start taking interest in this?
Well, I've actually made this a career, so I'm a personal trainer.
No.
And I utilize what I do with the stage and through competition to promote my business. So for me, there are a lot of benefits. I mean, as an individual, I'm healthy. I like the way that I feel. I like the way that I look. The exposure is fun, but it's actually, promoting my business.
And we see the males are your counterparts, let's say, and we hear about, okay, Phil and Jay drive Ferraris. So what do you lot drive?
Not a Ferrari.
Well,
One day, yeah?
the men in this sport are, there's more.
They're
making more money than
Yeah.
the females are. But
Do you feel a little?
Yeah.
Do you feel a little bit? Oh, well, hold on. Why don't we make the same? Or do you think one day we'll get there?
I don't know that the disparity is ever going to.
I don't think
change
it'll
that
equal.
much.
Just like every say in Asia, there's just a difference.
Yeah, there is.
But it doesn't stop. I don't think it stops us for doing something that we love.
No, because it's our passion.
And when you say, like, what do you get out of it? Like, for me, what do I get out of it? This is part of my well-being. It makes me, we all have to do stuff for ourselves to make ourselves feel better. And this is something that you can take total control over. I can say, this is my body, this is my temple, what can I do with it? And at the end of the day, when I leave that gym, I go, look what I've achieved. And this is on me, this is what I've done. And,
Do you think Asia's got a long way to go yet in relation to bodybuilding and competing in figure competitions?
To be honest, I haven't seen enough yet. Have you?
Well, in Asian total, I lived in Japan for 5 years in the military, and I do think there is a road
But there's
for
huge
Asians.
opportunity
Yeah,
here.
I think it's there.
Massive opportunity.
Yeah, I think it's there, and hopefully something like this creates that interest.
Absolutely.
Because whether you're a vegetarian or not, I still think that you can still achieve and you can still create a physique that you'd like to. Whatever.
Even by
whatever.
not eating meat, it's achievable.
Yes. Oh yes. Even if you come by our booth, you'd even know it.
Well, girls, we'll pop down to your booth later. Thank you very much, and good luck for the competition.
Thank you so
and
much.
hope you enjoy India
Thank
and
you.
see what India has to offer. And we'll catch up with you later.
Yes. Thanks.
Thank you. ਹੁਣ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੈਗੇ ਜੈਗ ਚੀਮਾ ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਅਕਸਰ MTV ਤੇ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ we always see Jag on TV ਆਪਣੇ ਸ਼ੋਆਂ ਤੇ and he's one of the organisers here. Jag, first of all, welcome.
Thank you very much.
In fact, you should be welcoming me.
Welcome. Thank you for coming. It's a great pleasure to have people from the UK coming here to cover the event.
Tell us a little bit about what Sheru Classic is going to be about and what the two-day event is.
Sheru Classic, as you know, this event is about promoting the bodybuilding sport in India. More so, it's about putting Indian bodybuilding on the map, international map. I'm actually quite pleased to say that it's not only put Indian bodybuilding on the international map, but it's put Asian bodybuilding on the whole map, because the show that's about to happen is the biggest show in the history of Asia. And what's been happening over the last few days is we've had a lot of interest, we've had a lot of interviews, a lot of press conferences, just to let the general public know what's happening. We've also had a lot of help from Bollywood stars to promote the event. Today is when it all starts. Today, what's happening here today is we've got an expo where we'll be explaining to people about supplements. There's a lot of people from America, all over the world, who have come here to expose what they sell. Things like supplements, pro-tan, advice on how to train, how to take nutrition. And I'm really pleased to say that we've actually got people who have travelled from everywhere, America, Canada, UK, Europe. There's people who come from China. It's really great.
Just tell us a little bit about the competition and the athletes that you've got in today, because athletes have come from all over the world,
Yes.
right? And we're not talking about athletes on a low end of the scale, we're talking about high quality athletes and top champions and Mr. Olympias and former Mr. Olympias. So just give us a few names and a few details.
Well, as you know, the Olympia 2011 was last week. And,
In Las Vegas.
Yeah, Las Vegas. The athletes we have here are amongst the best in the world. We have the current Mr. Olympia, who is Phil Heath. We have Jay Cutler, who's a four-time Mr. Olympia. We also have most of the competitors that were involved in the Mr. Olympia competition. We also have the figure athletes. We have over 15 ladies who are going to be competing. So we have the best of the best in the world. We also have one of the second IFBB Pro card holder from India who's also going to be participating. So we have got people from all over the world, UK, Europe, Canada, America. It's the best you can get. It's the elite of the elite. It's a very expensive sport, so a lot of people don't follow it. But ultimately, people feel that there's no future. If you follow bodybuilding as a career, there is no future. We are like here to show people what people with a future in bodybuilding currently do. Mr. Olympia currently, Phil Heath, drives a Ferrari. He has a Bentley. Jay Cutler drives a Ferrari. He's got a Porsche. He's got a Hummer.
So there's definitely money in this, right?
There's money in it. If you hold a pro card, you can compete in any IFBB competition in the world. So people who follow bodybuilding as a career, yes, there is a career in this field. And one of the main aims of this event is to create bodybuilders from India. When people see this, they'll be inspired. Not only that, we're trying to encourage people to move away from the likes of drugs and wasting their lives and wasting their money on things that are not going to get them anywhere, and put them into something that will.
Why is there such a lack of bodybuilders from India? I mean, it's got one of the largest populations in the world.
Lack of exposure. And that's why this event is here, to show people what you can do if you achieve an IFBB Pro card.
And do you think that events like this will definitely help raise awareness, and in the future we might see more pro bodybuilders from India?
I was very surprised initially when we had quite a low ticket sale.
Right.
Believe it or not, the tickets were sold out very quickly once we held a press conference.
Yeah.
And now people are arguing to say, why do we not release more seats?
Right.
And you'll be very surprised that there's a lot of people from areas like Punjab and places that are not so popular as Mumbai who wish to come to this event. In fact, we are holding seminars now just for the reason people couldn't get tickets for the event. We've opened up an extra 150 seats, which sold out within 15 minutes. So now we're holding extra seminars. We're holding seminars for Jay Cutler, who's doing a tour of India. So it just goes to show how much interest there is in India for bodybuilding.
There was quite a big campaign in Punjab to promote Sheru Classic. I mean, we saw the big posters at the bus stands and, you know, all over model towns, especially places like London, Ludhiana and Chandigarh,
Yeah.
places like this. Was there a specific reason why?
The specific reason was not everybody watches TV channels where we advertise, not everybody reads newspapers, but everybody travels. And we wanted to reach out to all the people who didn't know about this sport, and that's what we exactly did. There was over 75 hoarding boards all over Punjab. As soon as the hoarding boards went up, the next day ticket sales went out of the roof. So it goes to show we were trying to create awareness, and it worked.
Sports is not a really thing that Asians push their kids into. It's more likely going to professional fields, become a lawyer, doctor, dentist, accountant. Why do you think that is? Why don't Asian parents do that? I mean, it's not. We struggle at the Olympics. We struggle to see an Indian athlete to compete at the top level. In the Commonwealth Games, we struggle to see Indian athletes at the top level. There's hardly any. Same goes with footballers. You know, international footballers or Indian boxers, and it's not something that's really promoted. What really needs to be done?
Well, it's a simple reason. You see a lot of rich lawyers.
Yeah.
You see a lot of rich doctors.
There's a lot of rich athletes.
How many rich athletes do you really see bodybuilding in the bodybuilder world in India?
Well,
And that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
This is to show people, the elite, what they do. And yes, there is a future in this sport, and yes, you can earn money from this sport, but it doesn't necessarily mean to say that you have to follow it as a career path. You can look good and still do your 9-to-5 job. So this has many reasons, and people will choose to do this for various reasons: hobbies, to do it to earn money, and to do it to actually promote India as a country.
Jag, well, thank you very much. We'll be following you around the expo in a bit and seeing everything that goes on. Also, we'll be having exclusive interviews with all the stars and the athletes, and hopefully, let's see how the event pans out. But good luck anyway.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you. ਅਕਸਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਐਮਏ ਟੀਵੀ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸ਼ੇਰੂ ਦੀ ਇੰਟਰਵਿਊ ਦਿਖਾਈ ਹੈ। ਸ਼ੇਰੂ ਦੀ ਇੰਟਰਵਿਊ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਬ੍ਰਦਰ ਬਾਰੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਪਰ ਦਰਸ਼ਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਾਏ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ। ਅੱਜ ਬੜੀ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਦਾ ਮੌਕਾ ਆ ਕਿ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ हेमंत एंग्रिश है जो कि इस इवेंट के ऑर्गेनाइजर ने। इन्होंने सारा इंडिया का जो हैंडल किया, सारा इन्होंने ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की है, बड़ी मेहनत की इन्होंने। तो कई लोग मैंने पूछते हैं भाजी शेरू का भरा नहीं तुसीं कदे दिखाया, भरा नहीं दिखाया। चलो अज भरा भी दिखा देंगे तुहानूं शेरू का, जो कि आप एक खुद बड़े अच्छे एथलीट है, तो एथलीट रहे ने। तो इन्हां नाल तुहाडी मुलाकात करने पहले हेमंत जी बहुत बहुत थैंक यू तुहाडा कि तुसीं सानूं सद्दिया।
थैंक यू भाजी।
तो हेमंत जी तुसीं मैनूं ये दसो कि ये एक्सपो जो इत्थे शेरू क्लासिक जो हैगा ये है कि इवेंट है, तो तुहाडा ये मकसद की है ये कराउण दा इहदे विच?
भाजी ये जिहड़ा ਅਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਇਵੈਂਟ ਕਰਾਉਣ ਲਈ ਤਕਰੀਬਨ 2 ਸਾਲ ਤੋਂ ਪਲੈਨਿੰਗ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਸੀਗੇ। ਤੇ ਇਹ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਲਈ ਕਰਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਅਸੀਂ ਸੋਚਿਆ ਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਇਹ ਐਕਸਪੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਰੇ ਕਰਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਤਾਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਕਾਫੀ ਹੋਰ ਅਮਰੀਕਨ ਕੰਪਨੀਜ਼ ਆਈਆਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਐਥਲੀਟਸ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਹੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੌਲੇਜ ਦੇਣ, ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਦੇ ਐਥਲੀਟ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗੇ ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਅਵੇਅਰਨੈਸ ਆਵੇ ਕਿ ਸਪਲੀਮੈਂਟ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਲਏ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ, ਕਿਹੜੇ ਸਪਲੀਮੈਂਟ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ, ਕਿਹੜੇ ਖਰਾਬ ਹੈ, ਕਿਹੜੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਬੋਡੀ ਲਈ ਪ੍ਰੋਟੀਨਸ, ਅਮਾਈਨੋਜ਼, ਐਸੈਂਸ਼ੀਅਲਸ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਚਾਹੀਦੇ ਆ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਪੂਰਤੀ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ, ਤੇ ਉਹ ਕਦੋਂ ਇਹ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆਊਟਪੁੱਟ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਜਲਦੀ ਤੋਂ ਜਲਦੀ ਉਹ ਆਪਣਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਗੋਲ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਅਚੀਵ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ।
बॉडी बिल्डिंग इंडिया फिलहाल ਅਸੀਂ कह सकते कि इन्फेंट स्टेजिस ਤੇ ਹੈਗੀ, ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਕ੍ਰੇਜ਼ ਅਸੀਂ ਦੇਖ ਕੇ ਆਏ ਓਲੰਪੀਆ 'ਚ, ਉੱਥੇ ਤਾਂ ਲੋਕ ਪਾਗਲ ਆ ਇਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਬਾਰੇ, ਬॉडी ਬਿਲਡਿੰਗ ਬਾਰੇ, ਤਾਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਮਸ਼ਹੂਰ ਆ। ਇੱਥੇ ਕਿਉਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਹਲੇ ਇਹਦੇ ਪ੍ਰਭਾਵ ਪਿਆ ਪਬਲਿਕ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ?
ਭਾਜੀ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਇਨੀਸ਼ੀਏਟਿਵ ਨਹੀਂ ਲਿੱਤਾ। ਅਸੀਂ ਹੁਣ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਵੀ ਆਰ ਵੈਰੀ ਪ੍ਰਾਊਡ ਕਿ ਵੀ ਆਰ ਟੇਕਨ ਐਨ ਇਨੀਸ਼ੀਏਟਿਵ ਐਂਡ ਵੀ ਆਰ ਲੀਡਰਸ ਇਨ ਦਿਸ ਹੋਲ ਇਵੈਂਟ ਐਂਡ ਇਨ ਹੋਲ ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀ। ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖਿਓ ਇਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦਾ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਇਫੈਕਟ ਪਊਗਾ ਪੂਰੀ ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀ, ਹੈਲਥ ਐਂਡ ਫਿਟਨੈਸ ਨੂੰ ਫਾਇਦਾ ਹੋਣਾ ਇਹਦਾ, ਔਰ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਦੇਖ ਕੇ ਮੋਟੀਵੇਟ ਹੋਣੇ ਆ ਇਹ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਆਈਡੀਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ। ਇਹ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਅਗਲੇ ਸਾਲ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗੂਗਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਇਵੈਂਟ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਹੁਣ ਤੋਂ 15 ਟਾਈਮਸ ਬਿਗਰ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਪਲੈਨਿੰਗ ਸਾਡੀ ਹੁਣੇ ਤੋਂ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਔਰ ਕਾਫੀ ਵੱਡੇ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਹਾਊਸ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਇੰਗੇਜ ਹੋਣ ਲਈ ਪ੍ਰਪੋਜ਼ਲਸ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਹੈ। ਐਂਡ ਵੀ ਆਰ ਥਿੰਕਿੰਗ ਟੂ ਐਕਸਪੈਂਡ ਨੈਕਸਟ ਈਅਰ ਮਿਨੀਮਮ 15 ਟਾਈਮਸ। ਐਂਡ ਸੰਜੇ ਦੱਤ ਔਰ ਹੋਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬਾਲੀਵੁੱਡ ਸਟਾਰਸ ਹੈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਅਨਕੰਡੀਸ਼ਨਲ ਹੈਲਪ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਹੈ। ਨਾਓ ਸਲਮਾਨ ਖਾਨ ਵਾਜ਼ ਇਨ ਡਬਲਿਨ ਯੈਸਟਰਡੇ, ਉਹਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਫੋਨ ਕਰਕੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਵੀ ਹੀ ਵਾਂਟ ਟੂ ਗਿਵ ਅ ਬਾਈਟ ਐਂਡ ਵਾਂਟ ਟੂ ਗੈਟ ਐਸੋਸੀਏਟਿਡ ਵਿਦ ਦਿਸ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਫॉर ਅਨਦਰ 15 ਈਅਰਸ।
ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਦੀ ਜੋ ਇਮੇਜ ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲੀ ਬਾਲੀਵੁੱਡ ਵਿੱਚ ਐਂਡ WWE ਦੇ ਰੈਸਲਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਹੁਤ, ਇਹ ਦੋਨੋਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਬੜੀ ਮਸ਼ਹੂਰ ਹੈ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਖਾਸ ਤੌਰ 'ਤੇ। ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਾਫੀ ਫਿਜ਼ੀਕ 'ਤੇ ਐਮਫੋਸਾਈਜ਼ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ, ਭਾਵੇਂ ਹਰਿਤਿਕ ਹੋਵੇ, ਸਲਮਾਨ ਖਾਨ ਹੋਵੇ, ਅਜੇ ਦੇਵਗਨ ਹੋਵੇ ਜਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਹੋਵੇ, ਤਾਂ ਬੰਦਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਯਾਰ ਕਿ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਵਾਂਗਰ ਹੁਣ ਬੋਡੀ ਬਣਾਉਣੀ ਹੈ। ਜਦੋਂ ਬੱਚੇ ਛੋਟੇ ਖੇਲਦੇ ਵੀ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਘਰ 'ਚ, ਇੱਕ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਮੈਂ ਜੀ ਜੌਨ ਸੀਨਾ ਬਣਨਾ, ਇੱਕ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਮੈਂ ਅੰਡਰਟੇਕਰ ਬਣਨਾ। ਅਤੇ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਟ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਨੈਕਸਟ ਲੈਵਲ 'ਤੇ ਗੱਲ ਆ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੁਛ ਅਜੇ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਪ੍ਰੋਡਿਊਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕੇ।
We haven't been able to produce a
ਉਹ
John
ਇਸ
Cena.
ਦੈਟਸ ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜੇ ਹੁਣ ਮੈਂ ਕਾਫੀ ਬਾਲੀਵੁੱਡ ਸਟਾਰਸ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਹੁਣ ਮਿਲਿਆ, ਹੁਣ ਜੌਨ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਉਹਦੀ ਮੂਵੀ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਫੋਰਸ
John Abraham.
ਹਾਂ, ਆਈ ਹੈਵ ਬੀਨ ਗਾਈਡਿੰਗ ਹਿਮ ਸਿੰਸ 1 year and you have seen how he has changed his physique drastically। ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਬਾਲੀਵੁੱਡ ਸਟਾਰਸ ਆ, ਮੈਂ ਨਾਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਦਾ ਲਊਂਗਾ, ਜਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਟ੍ਰੇਨਰਸ ਆ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਹੁਣ ਆਮਿਰ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਟ੍ਰੇਨ ਕੀਤਾ, ਬਹੁਤ ਨੋਨ ਟ੍ਰੇਨਰ ਹੈ, ਦੇ ਡੋਂਟ ਨੋ ਨਥਿੰਗ ਅਬਾਊਟ ਦਿਸ ਬੋਡੀ ਬਿਲਡਿੰਗ ਔਰ ਸਪਲੀਮੈਂਟਸ ਐਂਡ ਦੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਅਵੇਅਰਨੈਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ। ਹਾਂ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਨੌਲੇਜ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ,
ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ।
ਯੈਸ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ, ਤਾਂ ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਨੌਲੇਜ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀ ਕਿ ਦੇਖੋ ਬੋਡੀ ਬਿਲਡਿੰਗ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਹੈ ਉਹਦੇ ਲਈ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਤਿੰਨੋਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਦਾ ਕੰਬੀਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ, ਡਾਈਟ, ਐਕਸਰਸਾਈਜ਼ ਐਂਡ ਸਪਲੀਮੈਂਟਸ। ਰਾਈਟ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ। 30-40%
ਸਪਲੀਮੈਂਟ ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਜੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਕਿ ਟੀਕੇ ਲਾਈ ਜਾਓ, ਦੇਖੀਏ ਸਪਲੀਮੈਂਟ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਸਪਲੀਮੈਂਟ ਥੋੜੇ ਸਮਝਾ ਦਿਓ ਕਿ
ਸਪਲੀਮੈਂਟ ਦੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਹੁਣ ਸੈਮੀਨਾਰ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ। ਹੁਣ ਅਸੀਂ ਜੇ ਨਾਲ ਔਰ ਫਿਲ ਨਾਲ ਕਾਫੀ ਸੈਮੀਨਾਰ ਕਰਨੇ ਆ ਹੁਣ ਇਸ ਸਾਲ ਨੈਕਸਟ ਇਨ 15 ਡੇਜ਼ ਜੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਹੈਗਾ, ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਔਰ ਦਿੱਲੀ ਬੰਬੇ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਕਾਫੀ ਸੈਮੀਨਾਰ ਕਰਨੇ, ਜਿਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗੇ ਕਿ ਸਪਲੀਮੈਂਟ ਔਰ ਫਾਰਮਾਸਿਊਟੀਕਲ ਮੈਡੀਸਿਨਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਫਰਕ ਕੀ ਹੈ। ਸਪਲੀਮੈਂਟ ਇਜ਼ known as a dietary supplement, ਉਹਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਹੁੰਦਾ dietary supplement means it's a diet, it's part of your regular diet।
ਮਤਲਬ ਇਹ ਸਪਲੀਮੈਂਟਾਂ ਚੋਂ ਉਹ ਚੀਜ਼ ਮਿਲਦਾ ਜੋ ਖੁਰਾਕ ਚੋਂ ਮਿਲਦੀ ਹੈ, ਬਸ ਸਿਰਫ ਕਨਸੈਂਟਰੇਟ ਹੁੰਦੀ।
ਹਾਂ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਦੇਖੋ ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ ਹੁਣ ਆਪਣੀ ਫਾਰਮਿੰਗ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਵਾਲਾ ਤਾਂ ਰਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਨਾ। ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਚੀਜ਼ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੋਕੀ ਮਿਲਾਵਟ ਕਰਕੇ ਹੁਣ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹ
ਫਰਟੀਲਾਈਜ਼ਰ ਪਾਉਂਦੇ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਐਂਟੀ ਨੈਚੁਰਲ ਚੀਜ਼ ਪਾਉਂਦੇ ਆ।
ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੁਣ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਨਲਾਈਟ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਉਹਨੂੰ 6 ਮਹੀਨੇ ਲਈ ਮਿਲਣੀ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਮਿਲਣੀ ਨਹੀਂ।
ਹਾਂ, ਪਰ ਉਹ ਔਰ ਸਪਲੀਮੈਂਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਚੀਜ਼,
ਉਹ ਐਸੈਂਸ਼ੀਅਲਸ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਆਪਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਸਪਲੀਮੈਂਟ ਤੋਂ ਹੀ ਪੂਰੇ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ।
ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਦੱਸੋ ਕਿ ਲੁਧਿਆਣੇ ਤੋਂ ਉੱਠ ਕੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਐਡਾ ਇੰਟਰਨੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਸਟੇਜ ਦਾ ਸਫ਼ਰ ਤੇ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹੈ? ਪਹਿਲੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪ ਇਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਪਏ ਆ?
ਭਾਜੀ ਮੈਂ ਇਹ ਸ਼ੇਰੂ ਜਦੋਂ ਚਲਾ ਗਿਆ ਉੱਥੇ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਸਾਡਾ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ ਆ ਆਇਰਨ ਐਂਡ ਸਟੀਲ ਦਾ, ਤੇ ਆਈ ਹੈਵ ਅ ਵੈਰੀ ਬਿਗ ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀ ਓਵਰ ਦੇਅਰ, ਅਰਾਊਂਡ 400-500 ਪੀਪਲ ਆਰ ਵਰਕਿੰਗ ਅੰਡਰ ਮੀ, ਬਟ ਦਿਸ ਵਾਜ਼ ਅ ਪੈਸ਼ਨ। ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦੇਖ ਕੇ ਹੀ ਸ਼ੇਰੂ ਨੇ ਬੋਡੀ ਬਿਲਡਿੰਗ ਸਟਾਰਟ ਕੀਤੀ। ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਰਿਹਾ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਸਪਲੀਮੈਂਟ ਮੰਗਾਉਂਦਾ ਸੀ ਇਹਦੇ ਤੋਂ, ਤਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਦੇਖਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਿ ਲੋਕੀ ਉਰੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ 300% 400% ਤੇ ਚੌਗਨੇ ਰੇਟਾਂ ਤੇ ਉਰੇ ਮਾਲ ਵੇਚਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ। ਤਾਂ ਉਰੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਮੁੰਡੇ ਆ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ, ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੇਖਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਵਿਚਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਲੁੱਟਦੇ ਆ ਉਰੇ। ਤਾਂ ਦੈਨ ਆਈ ਵੈਂਟ ਦੇਅਰ ਐਂਡ ਆਈ ਸਟਾਰਟਡ ਦ ਇੰਪੋਰਟ ਆਫ ਦਿਸ ਸਪਲੀਮੈਂਟ।
ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਜਾ ਕੇ?
ਹਾਂਜੀ। ਉਦੋਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਪਹਿਲੀ ਵਾਰ ਗਿਆ 2006 ਓਲੰਪੀਆ 'ਚ, ਤਾਂ ਉਦੋਂ ਮੇਰਾ ਡ੍ਰੀਮ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਇਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਕੰਪੀਟੀਸ਼ਨ ਔਰ ਇਵੈਂਟ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇੰਡੀਆ 'ਚ ਕਰਾਉਣਾ।
ਸੋ ਜਦ ਦੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦਿਮਾਗ 'ਚ
ਉਦੋਂ ਦੀ
ਪਲੈਨਿੰਗ ਕੀਤੀ?
ਉਦੋਂ ਦੀ ਕਰਾਰੀ ਫਸੀ ਹੋਈ ਸੀ ਤਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਨਿਕਲੀ।
ਤੇ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਜੋ ਪੰਜਾਬ 'ਚ ਜੋ ਰਿਐਕਸ਼ਨ ਆ ਉਹ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਕੁ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ? ਕਿੰਨਾ ਕੁ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਪੰਜਾਬ? ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਹੁਣੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਆਏ ਆ, ਹੋਰਡਿੰਗਸ ਦੇਖੇ ਕਿ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਹੋਰਡਿੰਗਸ ਲੱਗੇ ਹੋਏ।
ਪੰਜਾਬ ਨੂੰ ਟੂ ਬੀ ਓਨੈਸਟ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇੰਟਰਨੈਸ਼ਨਲੀ ਔਰ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਮਿਲਿਆ। ਬਾਕੀ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਹਜੇ ਘੱਟ ਆ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰ ਗੱਡੀ ਰੋਡ ਪੈਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਛਾਲ ਮਾਰਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ। ਜਦੋਂ ਗੱਡੀ ਖੜੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਉਦੋਂ ਬੰਦਾ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਇਹ ਚੱਲੂਗੀ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ।
ਚੜ੍ਹਦੇ ਸੂਰਜ ਨੂੰ ਸਾਰੇ ਸਲਾਮ ਕਰਦੇ।
ਹੁਣ ਜਦੋਂ ਗੱਡੀ ਤੁਰ ਪਈ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਸਾਰੇ ਮਗਰ ਭੱਜ ਰਹੇ ਆ।
ਰਾਈਟ।
ਤਾਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਸਾਡਾ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਸਾਥ ਨਹੀਂ ਦਿੱਤਾ, but we have worked very hard and I am running since last 3-4 months ਤੇ ਸਪੋਰਟਸ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ, ਸਪੋਰਟਸ ਅਥਾਰਟੀਜ਼ ਆਫ ਇੰਡੀਆ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਜੀ, ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰੀ ਆਫ ਡਿਫੈਂਸ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਇੰਨੀ ਵੱਡੀ।
ਮੈਂ ਇਹੀ ਸੋਚਦਾ, ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਇਹ ਮੁਲਕ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਕਿ ਬਿਜਲੀ ਦਾ ਮੀਟਰ ਲਵਾਉਣ ਲਈ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ 500 ਫਾਰਮ ਭਰਨਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਤੇ 500 ਬੰਦਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲਣਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਜੁੱਤੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਘਸ ਜਾਂਦੀਆਂ। ਮੇਰਾ ਖਿਆਲ ਜੁੱਤੀਆਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਜੋੜੇ ਤੇ 6-7 ਲੈ ਕੇ ਘੁੰਮਣੇ ਪੈਂਦੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ। ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਵੀ ਉਹੀ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਹਾਲ ਹੋਈ, ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਬਿਊਰੋਕਰੇਸੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮੋਹਰੇ ਮਿਲੀ?
ਬਿਲਕੁਲ। ਇਹ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮਸ ਆਈਆਂ ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਸ਼ੇਰੂ ਤਾਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਸੀਗਾ ਤੇ ਬਟ ਇਹ ਆ ਵੀ ਆਈ ਥਿੰਕ
ਮਾਰੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਦੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕਰਨੀ ਪਈ।
ਆਈ ਐਮ ਬਲੈਸਡ ਵਿਦ ਦ ਫਰੈਂਡਸ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੈਗੇ ਹੋ, ਤਾਂ ਇਹ ਭਰਾਵਾਂ ਦੀ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਨਾਲ ਹੁਣ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਗਏ। ਹੁਣ ਅੱਗੇ ਦੇਖੋ, ਹੁਣ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਬਲੈਸਿੰਗਸ ਤੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਬਲੈਸਿੰਗ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ। ਵਿਲ ਸੀ ਹਾਊ ਇਟ ਗੋਜ਼।
ਹਿਮੰਤ, ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧਾਈ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਇਵੈਂਟ ਤੇ ਰੱਬ ਕਰੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਤਰੱਕੀ ਕਰੋ ਤਾਂ ਅਗਲੇ ਸਾਲ 15 ਗੁਣਾ ਨਹੀਂ 150 ਗੁਣਾ ਅੱਗੇ ਪਪੂਲਰ ਹੋਵੇ ਇਵੈਂਟ ਤੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧਾਈ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ।
ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ।
ਹੋਪਫੁਲੀ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਇੰਜੋਏ ਕੀਤੇ ਹੋਗੇ ਇੰਟਰਵਿਊ ਜੋ ਕੀਤੇ ਸੀਗੇ। ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਐਕਸ਼ਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਦਿਖਾਉਣਾ ਸ਼ੇਰੂ ਕਲਾਸਿਕ ਦੇ ਇਵੈਂਟ ਦਾ, ਕਿ ਉਹ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਅਗਲੇ ਹਫਤੇ ਤੋਂ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਅਗਲੇ ਹਫਤੇ ਦਿਖਾਵਾਂਗੇ। ਇਹ ਥੋੜ੍ਹੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਸਾਸ ਬਹੂ ਵਾਲਾ ਨਾਟਕ ਟਾਈਪ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਨਾ, ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹ ਚੀਜ਼ ਚਲਾਉਣੀ ਆ ਥੋੜ੍ਹੀ ਜਿਹੀ 4 ਹਫਤੇ, ਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕਈ ਸੱਸਾਂ ਵੀ ਦਿਖਾਵਾਂਗੇ, ਨੌਹਾਂ ਵੀ ਦਿਖਾਵਾਂਗੇ, ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਨੌਹਾਂ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਦਿਖਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸੱਸਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਿੱਧੀਆਂ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦੀਆਂ, ਤੇ ਸੱਸਾਂ ਵਿਚਾਰੀਆਂ ਨੌਹਾਂ ਦੇਖ ਕੇ ਡਰ ਜਾਣਾ। ਅਗਲੇ ਤਾਂ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਦੇਖ ਕੇ ਤਾਂ ਪੰਗਾ ਹੀ ਲੈਣਾ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਹੀ ਹੋਣੀਆਂ ਡੋਲੇ ਆਈਆਂ ਵਾਲੀਆਂ, ਤੇ ਤਕੜਾ ਹੀ ਬੰਦਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ, ਤਾਂ ਆਮ ਬੰਦੇ ਦੇ ਬੱਸ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ। ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਦੋਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਢਾਵੋ, ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਮੁੰਡੇ ਨੂੰ, ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਸੱਸ ਨੂੰ, ਤੇ ਤਾਂ ਰੱਬ ਹੀ ਬਚਾਵੇ। ਤੇ ਹੋਪਫੁਲੀ ਇਹ ਇੰਟਰਵਿਊਜ਼ ਤੋਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕੁਛ ਅਸਰ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਹੋਊਗਾ, ਕਿ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗਾ ਹੋਊਗਾ ਕਿ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਮੋਟੀਵੇਸ਼ਨਸ ਕੀ ਹੈ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਏਮਸ ਕੀ ਹੈ, ਜੋ ਕੀ ਨਹੀਂ, ਤੇ ਇਹ ਕਿਉਂ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ। ਤੇ ਫਿਲਹਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਇੱਕ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਵੱਲ, ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮਿਲਦਾ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ।
ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਹਰਜਾਪ, ਤੇ ਹਰੇਕ ਮੰਡੇ 7 ਵਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਆਪਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਸਾਡੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦੀਆਂ, ਸਾਡੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦੀਆਂ, ਸਾਡੇ ਬਾਹਰ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ NRIਆਂ ਦੀਆਂ। ਸਾਡੇ ਦੇਸ਼ ਦੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਜੋ ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਦੇ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਹੈਗੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਅਫੈਕਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ। So let's talk with Harjap.